Hi there, this is Victor from Scaffcalc, and you're watching the video version of newsletter week 45. I thought that I'll record this video because no one wants to read anymore, and you can get a more comprehensive understanding of what we have developed in the last few weeks. Starting off, I'll go through some quotation things like the new auto, like scaffolding auto we have, version 2. I'll dig deeper into the quotation tool, the bridging tool, and then we're going to jump over to project planning, and there I will explain some color-coded base for faster assembly, how you add beams and ledgers and couplers piece by piece. Continuing to hoist tool, you can place geta hoists inside of Scaffcalc now. Next up, we have the quotation and drawing tools. We have moved them, and I will show you where we move them. Further, we have the engineering tool, and we currently have a few beta testers trying it out. All right, so digging into it, I'm heading into a new scaffold here. Picking the rectangle tool to create some kind of building here, just a simple shape to showcase the new auto tool. I'll also place some type of structure here on top too, with a roof on top. Alright, so what I can do with the new auto tool is I can press this one. Depending now on which structure I'm pressing here, it will actually just pick that one. So if I pick this building and I go to auto, you can see that it gave the top building the auto feature. If I don't select anything, it will go from the bottom. So I click on this one now, and you can see it's actually covering the whole bottom section. I can do my settings here. I don't want the 0.15 for instance. I deselect that. I want the distance from the wall to be 25 instead. And I want to add some consoles on the inner. There we go, and I press enter. Now you can see that it actually built the scaffold with corners this time. That's an update we have. And gaps that are very small is filled with tube and fitting. And as you might understand, when you create this auto function, there are not always a perfect fit around the building. It's very seldom you actually have a perfect fit around the building if you want to stay 0.3 meters from the wall, for example. Therefore, we will help you out with these type of things here. As you can see there, and some planks going on too. There we go. So if you want to create scaffolding around this top part, you just press this one, you press auto scaffold, and you press generate or accept all, or enter. There we go. So as you can see, corners are here when you use the auto feature. And of course, you can always select the base you want to add new components on them, like the diagonals here on the outer part. There you go. Cool. Next up, we have the details in quotes. We're gonna name this something. First, I press escape on this one. I name this newsletter project. I place it in my folder. I have a sip of my coffee. And then I save this project. So heading out to my newsletter project now, I can actually create a quotation here. I can see my project right here. And first of all, I can pick a customer I already have. I use Piab, and my friend Carl is right here. So you can actually create your customers inside of Scaffcalc, and you can reuse them. Down here, if I would expand this one, I can see that I have a unit price for each part here. I don't want to calculate on weight. I don't want to calculate on cubic meters, but I do want to calculate on square meters of scaffolding. I'll change this to something else like 70 SEK per square meter. And I don't want to show that in my preview. So if I open this up now, I'm actually sharing everything with the client right here. You can see the quantity right there. But instead of that, I click this one. I hide the unit price and the quantity. I click save, very important, click save, and then I preview again. And now they should be empty. So if you want to keep your price there, but keep the square meter for yourself, it's possible. It's very easy to do. All right, continuing. We have the bridging tool. I'll head over to a new project. Right here, new scaffold. And we have this tool, the passage bay, as well as the bridging bay. Let's go for the bridging bay. I'll create the structure right here with some type of, let's call it an entrance. Let's place an entrance over there. I'll grab the bridging tool. And now you can see I do have some type of beam going on there. So first of all, I'll increase the height of this. Maybe I want the bridge height to be at 6 meters instead. I'll place it right there and I can drag and drop. So there we go. We have the beams over here. I'll add some diagonals too. Right there on the outer. And I'm pretty happy with my result here. So that's how you use the bridging tool. And the bridging tool differs depending on what supplier you are using. So if you're using something else than Liar, and that I'm using Liar here in my example, the way it will look is different. So we have dug deep into the manuals from each supplier, so it should be looking like the ones they prefer you to use. Okay, heading over to project planning, which is our next little title in the newsletter. The color-coded base, I guess you've seen it before, but if you click this part here, and I click bay, and I make this a little bit smaller, you can see that it changes color. And this is because we want your assemblers, your team, to be able to see from the top view or when you create a drawing that there are different sizes of these bays. That's simply why we've done that. So it should be straightforward. You can change the colors down here in your settings, depending on what you want to use in your company. Continuing, adding beams, ledgers, and couplers piece by piece with live preview. So let's do something incredible here. I'll head to the back of this one. Maybe I create a console on the back here. Here we go. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Or even bigger. I'm crazy today. There we go. As you can see, we now have consoles here. I want to add some extra standards on these ones. So I click on component mode. I press these ones over here. I add a standard on top, a 1 meter one, and you can see now these have previews, so you know where they are and where they will be placed. I click add, and we have them right there. So if I press these rings here, I will be able to add components. So in this case, I want to add horizontals right there. You can see the preview, and I click add here to accept it. And you can do that on these ones too. Press the rings and I hold shift here to select more. I can use a lattice beam if I'd like. I can use the O ledgers here, and I can commit them. So you can actually build things out of your mind now, not just in box mode. And you've been able to do this for a while, so make sure to to play with it, to see if you can manage to create something extraordinary, and please show us what you accomplish. You can also do things, as you might know. You can add a coupler here on whatever height you'd like. So here you can see the green little sphere appears, and I click add. And let's say for some reason you would like to add another one at 1.6 meters here, just to block a passage or whatever. I've never seen this happen before, but this is just an example. I place a steel pipe right there, and there you go. So this feature is one of my favorites, because you can build whatever you want, basically. We will continue to add more components and to make it even more user-friendly with time. Okay, continuing. We do have a hoist tool too. So you press this little arrow here and you go over to hoist. And as you can see, a Geda hoist appears, and you can change the model right here. So you have the variants like A, B, C and SL, depending on the region you're in or the hoist you have in your yard. I press model C, and I can now place that on the outer parts of this scaffold. So let's create a little bit bigger scaffold behind here. Go. And I also want to have base color on these ones. Hoist. And I place it outside one of my base. I can change the height of this one too. Right there. As you can see, it increases the height of the tower. I can place this right here, and you can see that the anchors goes into the scaffold, which is something we don't really want in this case. So I will press this one. I will increase the far length to 6. You can see it pulled through the scaffolding. Let's go for 5. There we go. And the close length to 1. Maybe, oh sorry, that was the angle. Maybe 2 meters. Or 3 to see if it goes through. It did. 5. There we go. So the anchor here went all the way through the scaffolding to be able to fit into the building instead. Okay, you can drag this up and down. It's a fun feature that we developed. You can change the guardrails here into a Geda landing level safety gate. There you go. I think you double click this one to open it, yeah. Just for visual purposes. Last but not least, we have the engineering tool. We have been developing this for a while now and starting to take shape. We are looking for about 10 users who want to beta test this to see what it goes for. And you should be a Scaffcalc customer in order to get your hands on this. Please fill out the form in the newsletter to be able to get a chance to try this out. This will be launched later on, as soon as we've tested everything and made it foolproof. Alright, that was about it for the newsletter. I hope to see you all soon and enjoy the scaffolding world out there. Bye!